I remember how the country was gradually evolving into a state, with the lineaments of its foreign policy becoming clearer. He said that we had two to survive. One was democratic development, with a strong emphasis on freedom of the press in this context, and, of course, a path to the West, notably to the U.S. Shevardnadze actually coined this phrase: if Georgia is to survive, it will be thanks to assistance from the United States. At some point in my life, I found myself dealing with a dilemma: either learn English or spread the Georgian language throughout the world. I chose the latter. Unfortunately, I have failed. Otherwise, we wouldn't be needing interpreters anymore.
Well, unfortunately, I was not very...
After I was appointed Georgia's ambassador to the U.S., he told me, "Keep in mind that I can't help you from here. The door is shut for Georgia, so my task for you is to break through this door. If all else fails, just jump in through the window." Gradually, the relationship grew warmer. At some point, Shevardnadze and Clinton agreed to drop the Mr. President form of address and switch to simple Dear Bill and Dear Edward, including in correspondence.
Well, the United States has strongly supported Chairman Shevardnadze and the territorial integrity of Georgia. And we want to talk a little about what can be done to help with peacekeeping efforts there, and about other matters that affect their destiny in Georgia, including obviously events in Russia and other countries in the region. So I really look forward to this meeting for a long time.
I will never forget the U.S. President's visit in July 1997, a momentous event for fostering economic cooperation with the U.S. and formalizing this partnership. And there were two milestone meetings, one of them organized by OPIC. This is how the OPIC president introduced Shevardnadze to the public. Meet Edward Shevardnadze, a leader of the past, present, and future.
Patrick Leahy, nice to see you again. Delighted you're here. I'm delighted you're still safe. You don't have an easy life.
Very stable, can be boring. There was another exciting meeting at the NATO headquarters. During this meeting, he showcased Georgia and its possible strategic function in the region and the world as a bridge between the West and the East.
How are you?
First off, when will you admit us as a NATO member?
I tell you when they leave.
I often caught myself feeling sorry for Shevardnadze. Here's a man in a league of his own, dealing with the main power distribution authority here, and cables there, and transformers exploding, and gas outages. All this was in stark contrast to his element, meaning global politics, political trends, dealing with particular states, setting relevant priorities, a different Shevardnadze in his element.
მას ჭირდებოდა კარგი კოჭოია პრემიერი.
He needed a busy bee prime minister, someone who would keep things tidy and clean, to let him handle global issues, deal with foreign relations, and so on.
ქვეყნებს შორის ის როგორი იყოს და ასე შემდეგ. იგი ძალიან კარგად ათვისნობიერებდა, ესე ვთქვათ, საქართველოს აი ამ ისტორიულ გეოგრაფიას და მნიშვნელობას.
He was well aware of Georgia's historical geography, also realizing that Georgia had to strike a balance, and this, according to him, would make the country attractive. Georgia's value lies in its being a bridge in the neighborhood.
ესე ვთქვათ, აი ამ თავის სამეზობლოში. ეს გახდათ გარკვეული ბალანსის დამყარება სამხრეთ კავკასიაში. იმ ბალანსის, რომელიც დღესაც არსებობს. სწორედ ეს ბალანსი
In a way, it was about striking a balance in the South Caucasus, one that continues to this day. And Georgia plays a very specific role in this balance, involving three countries in a small territory where two states are at war with each other. And it is in this context that Georgia has succeeded in setting the stage for the region's progress.
რეგიონის წინსვლას დაუდო საფუძველი.
In 1996-1997, Georgia became a role model of post-communist transformation throughout the region.
ამავდროულად ამ პროექტების განხორციელებას ძალიან დიდი მნიშვნელობა ექნება.
I am convinced that implementing these projects will be of crucial importance for peaceful conflict regulation in the South Caucasus.
კონფლიქტების მშვიდობიანი გზით მოწესრიგების თვალსაზრისით.
ძალიან ახლო მეგობრული ურთიერთობა ჰქონდა.
We maintain close relations with many leaders, a far-reaching factor for Georgia.
პირველ რიგში მინდა აღნიშნო ჰეიდარ ალიევი.
Let me single out Heydar Aliyev. These two men, with their political weight, pushed those major issues that were subsequently implemented in both Azerbaijan and Georgia.
აზერბაიჯანშიც და საქართველოშიც.
განსაკუთრებით ხაზგასმით მინდა აღნიშნო პრეზიდენტი დემირელი, რომელიც თურქეთს
President Demirel deserves special mention. Under his leadership, Turkey became a key pillar supporting Georgia's independence. Without Turkey, prospects of Georgia's survival as a state would be reduced to zero in the first half of the 1990s, when Russia stood against Georgia and its independence.
გადარჩენის პერსპექტივა რეალურად არ ექნებოდა.
ჩამოვიდა საქართველოში რამდენჯერმე.
He visited Georgia on several occasions just to discuss these projects. We signed some agreements, but the real purpose was to talk these projects over.
აი ამ პერიოდში ბატონ ედუარდმაც
Around that time, Mr. Shevardnadze and his friend Aliyev made a decision that defined the trajectory of our development.
ჩვენი განვითარების ვექტორი განსაზღვრა.
იმდენად ვიყავი მაინც დარწმუნებული, დაჯერებული იმაში, რომ ეს
I was convinced, absolutely positively, that it was necessary for the country, that it would help us quickly overcome the crisis facing Georgia at that time, to lend a function to Georgia and make it attractive to other countries. I had no doubt in my mind that it was bound to happen. Without it, we would have sunk deeper into hopelessness.
კიდევ უფრო იმედომდგომარეობაში ვიქნებოდი.
We're wearing similar shirts. These are presidential shirts.
გაჩნდა შესაძლებლობა
The
ქვეყანას
country now had a chance to find its place in the sun and become established in the international arena.
არენაზე.
ასეთი ფრაზით დაიწყო ონში სიტყვა ედვარდ შევარდნაძე გაეროში უფრო ზუსტად.
Edward Shevardnadze opened his speech in the UN with these words: Georgia used to be crucified on the geopolitical crossroads. It was a heavy cross to bear, a cross of suffering, but it may turn into a cross of prosperity.
მაგრამ ეს ჯვარი შეიძლება კეთილდღეობის ჯვარიც გახდეს.
სადაც არ გინდა ყოფილიყავით ჩვენ ამერიკის შეერთებულ შტატებში, თურქეთში.
Wherever we went, to the US, Turkey, Uzbekistan, Azerbaijan, or Israel, he carried drawings with him to prove to everyone how important it was to them and to Georgia, though he never mentioned this part specifically, to take advantage of this opportunity and have gas and oil pipes pass through Georgia's territory.
იმ შესაძლებლობით, რომ საქართველოს ტერიტორიაზე გასულიყო გაზსადენი ან ნავთობსადენი.
With pleasure, I always wondered if this was clear to you.
მას პირდაპირ ქონდა ნათქვამი ჩვენთვის, რომ ჩვენ გვაქვს მხოლოდ ის დრო, ვიდრე ელცინი არის რუსეთის პრეზიდენტი.
He told me point blank, we have this brief period to do it while Yeltsin is Russia's president and chaos persists in Russia. Needless to say, it was a vitally important decision to pitch Georgia to Azerbaijan first, and then to leading global oil companies as a transit route, capable of bypassing Russia and transporting Caspian oil to Western markets. The first such project was the Baku-Ceyhan pipeline. During his visit to Ankara, however, Shevardnadze demanded that Tbilisi be added to the project's name to feature Georgia too, Baku-Tbilisi-Ceyhan. On January 8, 1996, Chevron's vice chairman, Richard Matsky, visited Georgia. He recalled that Shevardnadze, back when he served as Soviet foreign minister, was the first to invite this American company to the post-Soviet space, namely to Kazakhstan, to extract oil in Tengiz field.
ოსაბჭოთა სივრცეში ყაზახეთში და დაიწყო თენგიზის ნავთობსადენის მოპოვება. ყველა წინააღმდეგი იყო მაშინ, როგორც მოყვა ბატონო მაცკემ, მაშინდელი პოლიტბიუროს ყველა წევრი.
Everyone was against it at the time, including the members of the Politburo. But Shevardnadze single-handedly managed to convince Gorbachev that the Soviet Union's partnership with the U.S. could evolve into a business partnership, Mr. Matsky added. Now that Gorbachev had certain obligations to Shevardnadze, the latter asked him to let the railroad network transport Tengiz oil via Azerbaijan and Georgia, and to deliver it to Batumi, as a message that until we build an oil pipeline for energy carriers in Georgia, there is a railroad route for transporting oil through our country. Consequently, Chevron became the first U.S. company to transport Caspian oil using a railroad route. Naturally, it was a major step, signaling to global giants and oil companies and informing them of the advantages, profitability, safety of transporting oil through Georgia. More importantly, this route was a decade ahead of its time, because the construction of the Baku-Tbilisi-Ceyhan and Baku-Tbilisi-Erzurum pipelines would be completed as late as 2003 and 2004, respectively. Thus, that inaugural meeting laid the groundwork for setting in motion Shevardnadze's concept of the East-West Energy Corridor.
ამოქმედებულიყო აი ეს აღმოსავლეთ-დასავლეთის ენერგეტიკული დერეფნის შევარდნაძისეული კონცეფცია.
საქართველოში ასია ხელში ჭიქა უნდა გეჭიროს, რომელიც ღვინითაა.
Georgian tradition prescribes wine in your glass, but I'm holding a glass of tea here. What can you do? That's all we have at this point. Maybe Gia can figure out something so we can duly celebrate this day later. Earlier, he used the word historic. We shouldn't overuse this word, because today is truly a historic day for Georgia.
დაარწმუნა შევარდნაძემ ალიევი, ადრე თუ გვიან ირანს მოეხსნება სანქციები. და თქვენ არ ეკნებით მხოლოდ და მხოლოდ ერთადერთი
Shevardnadze convinced Aliyev that the sanctions against Iran would be lifted sooner or later, thereby undermining Azerbaijan's status as the only oil producer and supplier in the region, with big players engaging in energy projects such as Iran, Mediterranean countries, Saudi Arabia, and others. In this case, Shevardnadze himself was a factor behind trust for the country and defining our role in the process of shaping the East-West Energy Corridor in general. Consequently, Mr. Shevardnadze said, we must build this pipeline so as to include Iranian gas. And he even shared his vision with American companies. As a result, the pipeline can transport 65 billion cubic meters. It was said earlier that Georgia's wealth lies in Shevardnadze. I have an offer for Azerbaijanis. You can have me in exchange for your oil. Madeleine Albright, future Secretary of State, visited Moscow around that time. Back then, she served as U.S. ambassador to the United Nations, and she was scheduled to have a series of meetings in Moscow, including with Yeltsin. The next day, she requested a meeting with me. I told Yeltsin, but you must know that you're aware of our meeting. Yeltsin replied, we have informed her that we see the issues in the Caucasus and the post-Soviet space, and in the East in general, through the eyes of Shevardnadze. In my opinion, being a politician stands for imagining grand ideas and feats, and then juxtaposing them with petty quarrels. When someone insults you, for example. We made use of that little that we had, and it was the right decision and a far-reaching vision on the part of Shevardnadze when we, instead of building a route, we pitched an existing route operating since 1904. I'm talking about the historical corridor of the Baku-Batumi pipeline built by the Noble brothers, now to be rehabilitated and reused. And we did rehabilitate it, though we replaced pipes on 220 kilometers of the route's 400 kilometers, because we couldn't rehabilitate the sections crossing the river. At a meeting in a very close circle, Shevardnadze suggested to Demirel to bring together the presidents of Georgia, Azerbaijan, and Turkey. Demirel seemed a bit surprised, but he agreed nonetheless. This meeting, held in Trabzon, marked the first time when Shevardnadze openly announced the future construction of a major pipeline by Georgia and Azerbaijan in collaboration with Turkey.
We were about
to fly from Trabzon, and Turkey's security services informed us that some steps are being made in Georgia's territory to shoot down Shevardnadze's plane. We were still at the airport before boarding, and Demirel offered his aircraft to Shevardnadze, but Shevardnadze refused. On one hand, because he knew no fear. On the other, he wanted to prove that the intel was wrong, that nothing of the kind could happen in Georgia, that Georgia was a stable country and a suitable destination for such major projects as Baku, Ceyhan, and others. And he was ready to sacrifice his life, and us with him, to prove this point.
საქართველო არის სტაბილური ქვეყანა, საქართველოს შესაძლებელია პროექტების განხორციელება, მათ შორის ისეთი დიდი პროექტის, როგორიც არის ბაქო-ჯეიხანი და ასე შემდეგ. და ის ამისთვის მზად იყო, რომ თავი გაეწირა. ნუ, ჩვენც ერთად მეყოლებს პორტირა საკურველია. ყველაზე მნიშვნელოვანი ჩვენი ფინავების მაშინ თავდადებით და ოსტატობით
Thanks to the commitment and skillfulness of our pilot, our plane, flying off course and with the lights off, eventually landed safely. Things like that happened occasionally. And there were also Su-25 jets supposedly assigned to averting all this. And one time, they never even took off. There were no airplanes, and the security service discovered that there was sandstone or something like that in the engines. Someone must have put it there because the planes are under continuous control after landing. Nadibaidze demanded that they take off, but the pilots refused because a possible explosion and its blast wave could damage the airplane of the head of state. Before landing, the pilot turned the lights off. He was beside himself. To hell with me, but we have almost 100 people here in grave danger. The next day, Mr. Shevardnadze announced in a radio interview that he was relieving Vardiko Nadibaidze of his duties, a correct and justified step. Not that I want to recall these words by one public figure. Enough of compromises. There will be no more compromises. Because there can be no politics without compromises. neither in the past nor today.
საქართველო გადაიქცა ევროპასა და აზიას შორის დამაკავშირებელ ქვეყნად.
Georgia transformed into a country linking Europe and Asia, and that naturally went against Russia's interests. Unsurprisingly then, Russia engaged in devising terrorist attacks on Shevardnadze, isolating our country politically and hurting us economically, precisely because Georgia's stability did not serve its interests.
საქართველოს ეს ესე ვთქვათ სტაბილურობის მომენტი.
ძალიან რთული იყო. ალიევი მუდმივად ამბობდა, რომ არ უნდა
It was very difficult. Aliyev kept arguing against irritating Russia. We must calculate our every step so as to avoid irritating Russia, because that is a recipe for disaster. After a conversation with Mr. Shevardnadze in 1996, it was decided to build 2 routes instead of 1 by adding the alternative Baku-Supsa route to the northern corridor. The alternative route was commissioned in 1999.
პრემიერ-მინისტრი გახდათ მაშინ თურქეთის თანსუ ჩილერი,
Tansu Çiller was Turkey's prime minister at that time. She was quite familiar with the project and maintained close relations with then U.S. President Bill Clinton. And Clinton told me, "There's no need for you to be actively involved because Tansu is constantly on my back, calling me like 5 times a day. So is Demirel." Of course, a lot depended on the Americans, because companies interested and committed to engaging in the project were mostly linked to the U.S. Imagine Supsa, nothing but a bare, partially swamped field, and that's where we were expected to take 15 companies. What has been accomplished in Supsa in terms of construction and engineering is unique, unprecedented in the world, because artificial soil was used to cover the entire area. Imagine reservoirs, each as big as a soccer field, with a capacity of 64,000 tons. In this way, a floating platform of sorts was created, and according to the agreement, everything that floated belonged to the oil companies, while the immovable property was under Georgia's ownership. Then Shevardnadze said, "We must build a terminal in Supsa to lay the groundwork for constructing an oil processing plant, on one hand, and to start developing the eastern zone of the Black Sea Basin." Before signing the ordinance on establishing the relevant company and appointed me as vice president of Georgia's International Oil Corporation, he looked at me. There were just the 2 of us. And he asked, "Do you happen to know the chemical formula of crude oil?" I replied, "Mr. Shevardnadze, I've never seen crude oil in my life, so my answer is no." He smiled, signed the ordinance, and said, "I've no clue either. Let's learn it together." I must admit that we had difficulties too. We were having a hard time resettling the population. Of course, they were compensated, but they tried to get as much as possible. But the company does not spend money easily. They wanted 10,000 to 14,000 per square meter, so it would cost us less to build this terminal in Hyde Park, London, for example. And the oil companies, they couldn't quite understand the reason why the locals protested so vocally and requested so much money. I was angry because of all of this. And then I told Mr. Shevardnadze, "I just can't deal with these locals in Guria." "Why?" he asked in response. "There must be at least one wise man among them, so find him and talk to him." Besides, women did all the talking. So imagine 300 women talking to the BP president. He doesn't understand Georgian, so all he can hear is Gurian women screaming their heads off. But it was sort of hard to explain, so I just told Shevardnadze, "I haven't seen a single wise man there. Go and think hard how to find one." The next morning he asked me, "So, have you figured out the riddle of a wise man from Guria?" "No. Let me go back and see what I can do." "No need," he replied. "Come have some tea with me. No need to look for a wise man from Guria. You're looking at him." Then the Chechen War broke out, effectively leaving Baku-Supsa as the only reliable, stable oil route.
The country engaged in international cooperation with neighboring countries across a variety of spheres, including cargo transportation from Central Asia to Europe and transiting Caspian energy carriers to Turkey and further to Europe. We were discussing with Mr. Shevardnadze ways to transform Georgia into an airline hub as well, with our airport serving at least as a place for refueling, because our country is located right in the middle. This was followed by prospects of establishing an oil processing plant in Georgia. The idea was for Georgia to become an oil-producing country, serving transit airplanes. This was one of the most serious arguments set forth by Shevardnadze during his talks with the U.S. leaders in Washington. He underlined prospects of Georgia possibly supplying the Black Sea countries with much-needed energy carriers, in this way reducing their dependence on Russian gas and oil. And the Silk Road is bigger than just a highway. The Silk Road is also about the Baku-Supsa pipeline that we have built. The Silk Road is also about the Baku-Tbilisi-Ceyhan pipeline to be built in the future. The Silk Road is also about the Trans-Caspian gas pipeline and many other projects. The Silk Road is also about the newly initiated expansion of the Poti port, with $60 million to be invested by the Japanese government in the construction of new piers, with an additional $70 million to be invested in the future, also pledged by the Japanese government. The Silk Road is also about projects for Poti port expansion designed by the EU and the US, also the expansion of the Batumi, Ochamchira, and other ports later as we make decisions on these and other issues, such as airspace and so on. So this is what the Silk Road is all about.
კიდევ ერთი ელემენტი ამ კონცეფტისა გახლავთ სატელეკომუნიკაციო არხი, ეს არის
This concept also includes a telecommunications channel comprising of several fiber optic and other communications elements linking vastly separated places around the globe, such as Shanghai and Europe's Atlantic coast, for example.
შანხაი და ევროპის ატლანტიკური სანაპირო.
Another project under development targets Sanaklia. Let them kick up a fuss and raise hell. We will complete this project in line with the law, no matter what. The idea of the Anaklia project in its entirety was conceived by Mr. Shevardnadze as early as the Soviet period. This deep water area allows for receiving large ocean tankers. All this translates into revenues, including customs tariffs and taxes. It also stands for the rapid development of tourism. Consequently, Georgia's budget will be hundreds of millions, maybe billions richer in a matter of years. The European Union decided to adopt a comprehensive tariff policy on communications and rail, air, and sea transport in 4 vast areas labeled as the North, the West, the South, and the East. This would be followed by comprehensive infrastructural projects, of course, all this calling for a comprehensive political agreement. Georgia was emerging as a key player along this chain. We had guarantees that the revenues from energy corridors would be channeled into Georgia's budget. In addition, such major international players as the US, the EU, NATO, and others guaranteed Georgia's security.
უცბად რუსეთმა გადაწყვიტა რომ შეეწყვიტა გაზის მოწყვეტება საქართველოსთვის.
Out of the blue, Russia decided to stop supplying Georgia with natural gas just before New Year's Eve. Can you imagine that? New Year's Eve. Then foreign diplomats and leaders became involved and played an important role by denouncing the steppe as Russia's way of reaching political goals by using its energy potential. Because what Russia wanted to achieve in this case was a political goal. Clinton personally spoke with Putin, somehow managing to draw a red line. We are most interested in the gas pipeline. You know what? This is not just a social problem, but also a political one, and a very important one at that. Consequently, this issue was brought to the table, and that was also Shevardnadze's idea, to build the so-called Trans-Caspian gas pipeline. One of the biggest headaches plaguing the Georgian state, independent Georgia, meaning dependent solely on imported Russian gas, was practically taken off the table. Georgia started importing gas from Azerbaijan, a milestone event in the country's economic and political life. Around that time, various sources started circulating information about another possible terrorist attack on Shevardnadze. Potential attackers were identified in Grozny, where they were trained by 2 Arab instructors, notorious terrorists. The group was led by Gocha Esebua, who previously left Zugdidi in the company of 15 other men. Admittedly, though I was still working for the Interior Ministry at that time, I was unaware of all this. One way or another, Gocha Esebua's group was in training, financed by Guram Absnadze, Ziad Gamsakhurdia's finance minister and vice prime minister. Now, that terrorist act was planned and prepared better than the others, and it involved more people, about 20, maybe even 30 of them. 2 of them later testified that they had been inspected by Guram Absnadze, and one Deniev, who claimed to be an FSB colonel. Then it was confirmed that they had all been trained for a full 6 months at one of the remaining Russian bases in Chechnya. After that, the most advantageous spot was chosen for them, about 1,500 meters from my residence. They fired a salvo from all kinds of automatic firearms from the right side. They were so well trained that all 3 projectiles hit the target, Babu's car. We had no visibility because the windshield was covered in white cracks from bullets. The driver would not stop the car. Even though the tires were blown flat, he kept pressing on and drove somewhat outside the danger zone. He only asked, "We're not getting out of here, are we?" And then he said, "How can I help?" I felt no fear. Everything happened so fast that I had no time to even look for a solution. You can't do it unless you have it in you. You can't just order your body to appear strong because someone may be watching you. It's impossible. And, totally unexpectedly, there happened to be a traffic officer parked in a tiny Zhiguli car nearby. The head of my security guard left our car and summoned the officer, He approached us, and a minute later, we were in his car. I ordered to head toward the residence.
ერთი წუთის პარკლებში ჩვენ აღმოჩნდით უკვე მეორე მანქანაში და ჩემი ბრძანება იყო წავსულიყავით რეზიდენციისაკენ.
როდესაც უკვე მოხდა მისი ევაკუაცია და ერთად გამოვიდა.
After his evacuation, as we were leaving the scene of the terrorist act, he asked me, "Aren't they supposed to be lying in wait, expecting us further down the road?"
წინო არ უნდა იყოსო.
წესით მათ უნდა გაეთვალისწინებიათ რომ თუ თქვა ტერაქტი
Technically, they should have considered my possible route in case the attack failed. Apparently, they got confused, and since 3 bombs hit the car, after which there shouldn't have been any survivors, they considered their mission accomplished. Dato Kokauri from the Special Forces and Kaha Shevardnadze, a member of the security team, were killed. A few of us were severely wounded. Ultimately, though, we were able to extract Babu safely.
როდესაც მოვედით უკვე სახლში, ქალბატონი ნანული ჩამოდიოდა გიბეებზე სახლში.
As we arrived at the residence, Nanuli was coming down the stairs, and she asked, "Why are you so late?" Of course, she knew nothing about the terrorist attack. Shevardnadze took off his overcoat and said, "We got shot at again."
ისევ გვესროლესო.
Виталич, добрый вечер, здравствуйте. Да, сильное было очень нападение.
Dear Haydar, good evening. Greetings. Yes, it was a serious attack. I survived, but we lost one young man who has worked with me for a long time, and he was the one who took me to the hospital the last time. There are 2 others wounded. They used everything, probably grenade launchers and heavy machine guns. Thank you for calling and caring. This must be our destiny. Thank you so much, dear Haydar.
Наша участь, наша судьба такова. Спасибо, брат. Спасибо, обнимаю. чем ქვეყანას ემსახურები ბოლომდე.
I am serving my country, serving to the fullest, to the best of my ability. And surviving 2 attacks is nothing short of a miracle. The previous 2 attacks aside, this time it was a true miracle. And miracles happen only by the will of God. God probably sees that I am investing all my energy, knowledge, and experience to benefit my country, my people, and He must be helping me in such difficult crisis situations.
ჩემი ქვეყნისათვის, ჩემი ხალხისათვის და ის როგორც იტყვიან, შველის ასეთ ურთულეს და კრიზისულ სიტუაციებში.
The car is in terrible shape. The hood flew off. The front is badly damaged. Did the car explode? No, it didn't. And this is how it looks now. Given the damage, it doesn't look too bad.
ეხლა მე ვერ გეტყვით რომ მას დავალება ასეთ იყო წახვალთ საქართველოში და შევარდნაძეს მოკლავთ.
I cannot insist that they were directly instructed to go to Georgia and kill Shevardnadze. But what were they trained for? They were trained, and they came to Georgia. They tried once, unsuccessfully, then once again, and now another terrorist attack on the 9th. They had only one target, and I want to know who sent them, because they personally had no interest in Shevardnadze. Were they interested in the oil pipeline? No. We're talking about bigger national interests here. I can't insist that Yeltsin or other leaders were aware of it, but it's clear as day that their special services were behind its planning, because there's no way that so many people were trained at a military base unbeknownst to the special services. I don't know who exactly, but the special services must have known. If not, somebody higher up in the hierarchy must have known. One way or another, I still survived. Undoubtedly, he was under the protection of a different kind of force. Otherwise, he wouldn't have survived this situation.
უნდა გითხრათ რომ როცა პირველი აქტი მოხდა მაშინ ცოტათი
The first attack left me with a damaged eardrum and minor hearing loss.
ნობდი რომ სმენადობა ნაკლებია ვინმე ადრე.
პირველი რაც თქვა საუბრისას
The first thing he said in response to someone's question was, "I can't hear you." And then,
მე თან დაამატა
როგორ ახართ და
"Are you all right?" I asked and added, "These bastards won't leave me alone until I go deaf." Innumerable rumors were circulating about him, that he was not in the car, that he staged the whole thing. It's unimaginable that, with so many people involved, all this was staged and then actually performed with flawless precision. Shevardnadze needed the August 29th, 1995 terrorist attack, so he intentionally blew himself up to bolster his popularity. He also needed and staged the February 10th terrorist attack. Just show me someone who can survive in that burning car.
ამის მერე დავიწყე მარშრუტების სვლა ხან საიდან წამოვიყვანდით ხან საიდან და
After the attack, we started alternating routes at random. Once we drove from the Chancellery down to Queen Tamar Bridge and via Railroad Square and proceeded to Kutsanisi. He looked at me and asked me, "What are you doing?" "I'm not telling you how to do your job, so please let me do my job," I replied. "In that case, let's make a detour through Guldani," he suggested.
მაშინ წამოჩერეს გულდანი წავიდეთ თო მითხრა
ბაბუ ატარებდა პატრიარქის ნაჩუქარ ხატს. წმინდა ნიკოლოზის უბის ხატი, რომელიც
Babu always carried with him an icon, a present from the patriarch, a pocket icon of St. Nicholas. So he somehow lost this icon. It probably fell out of his pocket while he was getting in or out of the car. 2 weeks later, the area was combed once again, and the icon was found and returned to Babu. He was very happy, but the story also has a prequel. During a visit abroad, as we were about to take off in a motorcade procession, Babu suddenly got anxious, visibly fidgety. Then he turned to me and said softly, "I left the icon in the bedroom. Can you get it for me? You think you can make it before we leave?" "I'll try," I replied. So I darted off to bring the icon of St. Nicholas, which he always carried with him. Then I hopped in and handed him the icon. He put it in his breast pocket and said, "We're all set now. We can go now." God willing. Nothing happens without God, including those numerous terrorist acts on Mr. Shevardnadze's life. If God did not will for you to live, he would have taken you, or you wouldn't be alive today. Surely God needed this man here. He has a plan for you here on earth. Each attack makes me stronger. And I even advise some of my colleagues today to try it. The question is, what inspired these terrorist attacks? I think the main reason was what he intended to do and eventually did, meaning that he secured a function for the country, one that went against another country's economic and political interests.
რომელიც გარკვეულად ეწინააღმდეგებოდა სხვა ქვეყნის ინტერესებს, ეკონომიკურსაც და პოლიტიკურსაც.
ტერაქტის მეორე დღეს დანიშნული იყო შეხვედრა მესტიაში, როგორც იქნა გადარჩი რაღაცა.
We had a meeting scheduled in Mestia for the day after the terrorist attack, which I survived with just minor scratches. So we went up to Mestia, met with local Svanetians, who at some point told me that Yeltsin was calling me on the phone downstairs. He wanted to congratulate me on surviving and asked me how I was feeling. I thanked him and assumed that our conversation was over. Apparently, it was not. "I'm listening," I said. "We're friends, and I'm telling you this as a friend. But I also must insist that you leave oil and gas alone, because Russia is keen on Caspian oil and gas. This is my advice, because otherwise we may impose sanctions."
Caspian ნავთობით და გაზით დაინტერესებულია რუსეთი. აი ჩემი რჩევა, იმიტომ მე შეიძლება ჩვენ სხვა სანქციებს მივმართოთ.
I replied,
This is not up to us. If the people say that it must pass through Georgia, I cannot say no, no matter how much I respect you or fear you. And I actually don't fear you. That upset him. Later on, however, things between us returned to business as usual.
If
the implementation of the Baku-Tbilisi-Ceyhan project secured a place on the world's economic map for the South Caucasus and Azerbaijan and Georgia, two geographically small but important countries for the global economy, the Baku-Tbilisi-Erzurum project, also known as the South Caucasus Pipeline, was even more important to Georgia. Now there is a lot of talk going on about us being better off without these pipelines and the Silk Road idea. We could have lived in peace and quiet without these Eurasian corridors and Traseka, the whims of one man and figments of his imagination. But I am convinced that these are our strategic interests, and these define Georgia's place in the world, being the source of Georgia's prosperity. So we must get our nerve up and stand firm under attack. And we will be under attack because someone's interests may be hurt, and because we are saying, let's live as friends and neighbors, all right? But there is one thing you cannot avoid or ignore. It's a different world today. So many countries around the globe are still impoverished and neglected simply because they serve no function. This was a gradual process leading to the decision officially announced at the turn of the century, when the country declared European and Euro-Atlantic integration as its strategic choice. When Shevardnadze was honored with the E.H. Harriman Award for Democracy Building, Edward Kennedy delivered a speech, and he put it very succinctly. The transformation used to be said to take time, years in fact, but actually it takes one great leader to make transformation a reality. That's how Edward Kennedy characterized Shevardnadze.
And that one great leader can make all the difference. President Shevardnadze, you have guided historic change with great skill. I know what President Kennedy would have said if he could be here. He would have called you a profiling courage for our time, for all time. It is a special honor to present this award now. I know that the citizens of Georgia are proud of you, and so are we, President Edward Shevardnadze.